So let's begin with the chart of accounts. In VersAccounts, you can specify an account for each type of transaction that your business undertakes. Typically, your transactions are made up of one of four types. They could be assets, they could be liabilities, they could be income or revenue, or they could be expenses. Each account can be allocated a unique number which allows you to classify it and remember it easily, together with a name or a description for this account. Generally, each account will be in the currency of your operating entity, in this case a Canadian dollar company, but if required you can specify that an individual account may have another currency as its default, in this case for a US dollar checking account. One very interesting aspect of VersAccounts is its multi-entity capability. What this means is that within a single company or within a single group of companies, you can specify multiple different entities or companies that make up that group. And you can simply toggle between the two by dropping down from the list shown here. What you'll notice is that the color coding changes when you move to a new company or to another company. And this is important to understand within the context of these fields over here. Each of these columns with a different color in it represents a different company or entity within the group, with the main company or the holding company specified here on the left. What happens is when you set up a new account, by default, all of the entities or companies in the group get a copy of that account, which means that all of your companies or all of your entities within your group are operating to an identical chart of accounts. This makes administration much easier, and there are exceptions such as bank accounts which may be unique to an individual entity, but overall maintenance becomes very simple and straightforward with VersAccounts. You will notice that VersAccounts has a single string or a single segment account number. This makes maintenance of the chart of accounts very easy. If you, however, need additional classification or sort fields, you can do that through dimensions, which we'll take a look at next. So VersAccounts allows you to create an unlimited number of dimensions depending on how you need to classify transactions within your business. Within each dimension, you can also create a series of variables. So in this example, we take the dimension of region and we create north, south, east and west variables within region. So in this example, where we are entering our month-end legal fees, we can actually enter the debit of $100 for legal, which goes to the legal account, and as an additional classification we can tag the transaction with the north region. Then if we also have some additional expenses for the eastern region, we can enter those as a separate line item, and we can select a region code for that line item too, which allows us the process of being able to allocate our costs over the different parts of our business that we need to analyze without including those elements in our chart of accounts, keeping it simple and easy to use. We can use this example to show how journal entries work and how simple they are in VersAccounts. We can elect for a journal entry to be a permanent journal or a month-end journal that might reverse, in which case we can specify the date on which it reverses. Typically it would be the first of the following month. By default, the debit or credit and amount fields fill in with the remaining balance that is needed to make the transaction balance. We can enter the account, and simply add the line item and the journal now balances. It really is as simple as that. One thing to note here is that in situations where we post the regular journal every month, particularly for month-end purposes, it is possible in VersAccounts to keep those templates in a spreadsheet and simply upload them into this journal form at month-end, which is another time-saving device and something which cuts down the month-end procedure each time. You're often going to want to look at the detail behind a journal. Fairly simple. You can pull up an all transactions list. You can enter a range of dates for which you need to look at the transactions. Sometimes you might do this when you're reviewing your monthly journals. If you happen to know the number of the journal that you're looking for, you can just type it in here. And the system filters out the appropriate journals, and you can drill down, take a look at the transaction, including the journal entries. Let's finish this section by looking at some of the financial reports that are available in VersAccounts. Clearly it's obvious as a business that you understand how your business is performing. VersAccounts comes with a set of flexible reports which you can add to and customize and save so you can create just the report of the type that you like. There are trial balance, receivables and payables report, balance sheets and income statements. In this example, we'll look at an income statement and we will do a comparative view between the quarter ending in October 2017 and the quarter ending January 2018. We can scroll down and run the report. Then when the report appears, we can simply scroll down and look at the comparative data. You can print the report, you can download it as an Excel file or as a CSV file. That concludes the session on General Ledger in VersAccounts.